I'm not ashamed to own my Lord, nor to defend his cause. Maintain the honors of his word, the glory of his cross.
Hello, I am James Brown, and on behalf of the Eastern Church of Christ located in Toronto, Canada, I'd like to welcome you to Wednesday's edition of Walking Through the Bible, a podcast where we seek to study the Bible and the Bible alone. Please stick around afterwards for information on how you can contact us. But for now, if you have a Bible with you, please turn to the book of Genesis, and we'll turn you over to Jeremy Dieselkamp for our study of the day.
Thank you, James, and welcome to all of our viewers. This is the 98th lesson in our study of Genesis. Yesterday we covered Genesis chapter 28, verses 10 to 15, discussing Jacob's dream of a ladder to heaven and God reiterating his promises to Abraham and Isaac to him. If you missed that episode and would like to watch it, you can find it and all of our other podcasts on our website at www.eastendchurch.org. You can also find them on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/eastendchurchofchrist under the Walking Through the Bible Genesis playlist. Today we're going to begin with Genesis 28 verse 16 and read through verse 22. The text that you'll see on the screen is from the English Standard Version, but you're welcome to follow along with any version that you have. So let's now read Genesis 28, beginning at verse 16. Then Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, "Surely the Lord is in this place, and I did not know it." And he was afraid and said, "How awesome is this place! This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven." So early in the morning, Jacob took the stone that he had put under his head and set it up for a pillar and poured oil on the top of it. He called the name of that place Bethel, but the name of the city was Luz at the first. Then Jacob made a vow, saying, "If God will be with me and will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat and clothing to wear, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then the Lord shall be my God, and this stone which I have set up for a pillar shall be God's house, and of all that you give me, I will give a full tenth to you." Yesterday we found that Jacob had a dream in which he saw a ladder that bridged the gap between heaven and earth. On the ladder, Jacob saw angels ascending and descending from heaven to the earth. The Lord was at the top of the ladder and spoke to Jacob, reiterating his promises to Abraham and Isaac towards Jacob. When Jacob awoke from his dream, he stated his amazement that the Lord was in this place, even though he did not know it. Now we understand that the Lord is omnipresent, meaning that he is everywhere. So why was Jacob so amazed that the Lord was here? Remember Jacob's state of mind at the time. He was fleeing from his brother Esau, who was wanting to kill him because of the actions that he himself did. He was fleeing his father's house, the place where they worshipped God, and was going to a place that was unknown to him. He probably felt completely abandoned and completely disheartened. Yet God had not abandoned him. God was with him on his journey, even if Jacob felt abandoned. He referred to this place as an awesome place. The use of the word awesome has changed over the last few decades to mean similar to the word great. People yell awesome now when they're full of joy, and it really has lost what its original meaning was, which was to induce a sense of awe in something or someone. Jacob was amazed that God had appeared to him there, so much so that it caused him to be in awe of the nature and power of God, that even while he was fleeing, God was with him and would grant to him the blessings bestowed on his father and grandfather. He was so in awe that he referred to that place as the house of God and gate of heaven. Wanting to worship and consecrate that place, he took the stone that he had been laying on and set up a pillar or an altar to God. He then poured oil over the stone of God. After all this, he called the name of the place Bethel. Now we have come across this place before in Genesis 12 verse 8 and Genesis 13 verse 3. That this place was referred to as Bethel there is not a problem, because a city's name was often reconfirmed in Scripture, just as the city of Beersheba was. While studying for this lesson, I came across some people who declare that this Bethel was not the same Bethel we read of when Israel inhabited the land. However, when examining the Scriptures, we can come to the conclusion that it was. Jacob records that this Bethel was referred to as Luz at first. In Joshua 18, when the tribe of Benjamin received their inheritance, verse 13 says it included Bethel, which had been called Luz. This Bethel in Benjamin is the same Bethel we read Jeroboam setting up the golden calves in. So we can know that the Bethel of Jacob's day is the same Bethel referred to later. We conclude this chapter with Jacob saying that if God would keep him safe and provide for him and return him to the land, then he would be his God, and Jacob would give him a tenth of his possessions. This statement might sound like Jacob was saying, well, if God does this, then he will be my God. That's not what Jacob was saying. He was stating his faith and trust in God, stating that if God was willing to do all of this for him, he would worship and obey God as God desires. God has done so much for us in sending Jesus to die for us. Therefore, we should in turn obey and worship God. With that, our time is up for today. Please join us, the Lord willing, tomorrow, and we will continue our study of Genesis, beginning with Genesis 29, verse 1.
Thank you, Jeremy. And to our viewers, we also thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. Should you have any questions or comments, please leave a comment below or email us at answerintheword@gmail.com. We'll try to respond to you as quickly as we can. We hope you'll join us, the Lord willing, tomorrow when we'll be continuing our study of the book of Genesis. Goodbye for now and have a great day.
I'm not ashamed to own my Lord.